This video is to talk about the funeral ceremony of this man, his final outing service that will be held on Sunday at the same church where his funeral ceremony is held alongside his wife and his child. It's a combined funeral service. The RCCG in his home state, his hometown in Rivers State, RCCG Lion of Judah Parish. But we are also here to talk about the tribute. A lot of persons have things to say concerning the tribute videos, because in Lagos they held series of events that spanned a couple of days dedicated to celebrating the life of Herbert Wigwe, not just as a businessman but also as a person and a philanthropist and of course a religious person, you know. But among the persons that spoke on his tribute was his PA, who also escaped death. He was supposed to be on that flight. It was on the manifest of that flight, but he opted out because of bad weather and whatnot. And he said it was even his luggage. In his speech, he mentioned that it was a luggage issue that made him not even get on that flight. And he recounted asking Herbert if he wanted to go travel with that weather. And the Herbert assured him that this is not Nigeria, this is America. These guys monitor these things, and if it's not safe, they would let us know. But unfortunately, he got on that, and himself and 5 other persons died. Right, but a lot of persons feel like this permanent personal assistant was advertising himself and marketing himself for a new job, and they said that's not even cool at all. Others had issues with Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president, and his successor in office.
This one has to do with our political class
that they have going on and whatnot, and bringing politics.
What is all this struggle all about?
And some other persons feel like these persons were just talking about the loss.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Talking about how they will not enjoy the benefits that they used to get due to that to be influenced in the society. The tribute had a lot of the high and mighty in society.
I will answer you.
But one of the ones that really spoke to me and broke me was the Emir of Kano State, the 11th Emir of Kano State, Sanusi, speaking about his relationship with Herbert Wigwe. A lot of persons spoke personal things, and that's what some persons are also saying in the comment section, that there's no way you want to pay tribute to him. You will pay tribute to him and his influence in your life, and that will involve you talking about yourself. So it does not necessarily mean that these guys were talking about themselves. But let's talk about the tribute. I'm going to attach all of the tributes and whatnot in this video. You're going to see all of that. But I just want to quickly make mention of Sanusi's own. I'm also going to talk about the former vice president of the nation of Sibanjo, but I'm going to talk about Sanusi now. The Emir mentioned how when he was about to be dethroned, it was Wigwe that came to save his life. He said when he started having troubles in Kano, you know, he was hearing things like that, and then he called Wigwe and said, okay guy, I think something is going to happen. And Wigwe said, Your Highness, whatever happens, we are here for you, don't worry about it. And he said that the news of his dethronement came at about 9 a.m. About 9 a.m. But that the previous night he had called Wigwe to say, I know this is coming, this is the eventuality, I am going to be dethroned. And without saying nothing, Wigwe just said, oh, okay. He sent a plane, he sent a plane to Kano, the tarmac in Kano. And he said they had no phone call after the whole evening talk. That morning, when the news of the dethronement hit the internet and he heard it, himself and Wigwe didn't talk. He said he just put his family in that plane. He put them on that plane and they went to Lagos. And that was how his family relocated to Lagos. And that the people of Access Bank so embraced him that himself and Ike, that is his partner, they founded Access Bank together several years ago, that himself and I gave him protocols, they gave him security, they gave him everything he needed. They made sure his family was okay. That at some point, people began to think that even he, Sanusi, was the owner of Access Bank and that he was fronting with Ike and Herbert, but I mean that's not true. They just accepted him in such a warm manner. And that when he heard of his death, the thing that he was thinking of is, oh, a lot of persons know this man as a businessman, as a banker, but people will now begin to talk about him as a person. The elite in the society who have experienced Herbert as a person will now talk about him. And this begs the question, is it true that everybody becomes a saint when they pass? Because, some persons were also talking about, I'm still going to continue talking about Sanusi, but I'm just digressing. Some persons started talking about how, Herbert was involved in the corruption in the nation, especially with the past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, the forex, scam, the selling of FX deposits and whatnot, and making profits via that. Lots of persons, including Bode George, mentioned that Herbert was involved in all of those things, but nobody is talking about that. It's like death has overridden all of those things, and everybody's just talking about what a saint this man is, how much of a heart he had, how big of a heart he had, and how he embraced everybody, from his daughter to everybody speaking. Sanusi said he has been in Lagos for 4 years, and the home himself and his family lives in is courtesy of Herbert Wigwe. He had just completed a university that had a mausoleum and everything where he wanted his body to be laid when he eventually passes on. And it's not like he saw it coming, but you will make preparations ahead of this, especially when you have the means. But look at that. They are burying him there. They had to speed up, preparations and everything, and making sure the university ground was ready to collect the remains of the founder of that university. But he has dropped his legacy on earth. He has done amazing things for himself. It's just sad that, his children, the ones he had left behind, he left 3 other children behind. The eldest now being Tochi, a female who has had to keep it together, but of course she had broken down so many times in the course of the tribute. Sanusi cried about 3-4 times. He had to be comforted by Ike and Alex Oti, the governor of Abia State. I mean, it's just, it was really sad. Kashim Shettima, the vice president of the nation, spoke. Lots of persons have spoken. This funeral ceremony that I mentioned was ongoing. I'd seen, the church receive 3 coffins of a family in a day. That's enough to shatter anybody's soul. And that's why Herbert's father reportedly slumped, and he had to be rushed to the hospital this morning. It's just the heaviness and the weight of that kind of loss on a fragile old heart. I can't imagine that. It's just sad. He left behind his father, his mother, and children, and his loved ones. A lot of persons really loved him. And one social media user, internet user, said he now understood the meaning. He understands now the meaning of fortitude, because in this moment, his family, his loved ones really, really need this fortitude to bear this kind of serious damage. But of course, we hope that his children are secured. I mean, I believe they are secured, because one of the things Sanusi mentioned in his tribute was talking about how a few years ago he gave all his life savings to Herbert to say, put it in a trust for my children's education, because I feel like I might pass away, and I'm sure that with you in care of that, they are secured. So for him to be helping other persons secure their children's life, and after their demise, I want to assume that he did the same thing for his children. And Sanusi mentioned that he thought he was going to die before Herbert. Sanusi is actually older than Herbert Wigwe, who was born in 1966, and he passed away in 2024. His wife also quite younger. And his child was in his 20s. I think it was 28 or 27, thereabout, 28, 29 actually, when he became deceased. And of course, we are praying that God will give the family the fortitude to bear this irreparable damage, and the events that would come on. I feel like they've held most event, like I mentioned. Tomorrow, Sunday, the 10th of March, will be the final ceremony in church, and they are going to hold a private interment service today, the 9th of March, after the funeral service, for the combined funeral service for the ones that have gone. Bamofin Abimbola, the former chairman of Nigerian Exchange, has also been listed as one of the prominent persons that died in that plane crash, including 2 other pilots who were on that ride. Investigations are still going on in the US, but of course their bodies are here. We've buried them, and if we get more info concerning what happened to the helicopter that was transporting them to watch the Super Bowl, definitely will let you know about that. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this one. I am going to see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Drop your comments, your condolences, and what you think about the tribute videos that is going on online. I'd like to hear your opinions. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and bye.